polish something that has never existed before. Miyamoto explains how Nintendo is countering rising development costs. It's honestly wild to think that when it comes to fun in games, Nintendo has been in the business for over 130 years. To tell you the truth, they've been ahead of all of their competition when it comes to gaming innovation, and it's entirely due to their unique, company-wide design philosophy. Shiota reiterated that new ideas are priceless and have no relation to the size of a studio's wallet. Bigger budgets do not necessarily equate to better ideas, so we hope to continue to focus on a process where teams of hardware and software developers share ideas to create interesting things, he continued. Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to the Hard Light Network. When it comes to talking about the games industry, when I think about things such as creativity and nostalgia, the first company that comes to mind, at least for me, has definitely got to be Nintendo. It's honestly wild to think that when it comes to fun in games, Nintendo has been in the business for over 130 years. With over a century of innovation under its belt, it's no wonder that Nintendo is one of the biggest names in gaming history up to this day. And look, much like the other massive gaming conglomerates, maybe they have a few skeletons in their closet, but overall, Nintendo has honestly been an amazing games development company. To tell you the truth, they've been ahead of all of their competition when it comes to gaming innovation, and it's entirely due to their unique, company-wide design philosophy. As a lifelong gamer, Nintendo products have always been a staple of my household, starting with the Nintendo 64, the Game Boy, the GameCube, the Wii, and of course most recently with the Nintendo Switch. And while their achievements are largely collaborative efforts due to many of their people rising to great heights within the company due to their capability and creativity, there's one man above all others who could likely be credited with the lion's share of their success, and that's Shigeru Miyamoto. This is the man who brought us Donkey Kong, which then led to the Super Mario franchise, and of course you cannot forget his co-founding of the Legend of Zelda franchise. To tell you the truth, with as much criticism as we level at these companies at this channel, I definitely have to give credit where credit is due, and this man certainly is a legend in the games industry. So of course, in today's video, we're going to be covering an article where Shigeru Miyamoto himself shares his philosophy on games design. But of course, before we get into it guys, you know I have to massage that algorithm by telling you to hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content I've got coming up for you in the future, and also take to the comment section down below with your thoughts on this video. If you've been a Nintendo fan for any period of your life, I want to hear what your favorite games and systems are from this company down below. And of course, if you guys want to go that extra mile, there is a super thanks option down below, but without any further ado, let's get into this article. Today's reading comes to us from GameDeveloper.com and is entitled, Polish Something That Has Never Existed Before. Miyamoto explains how Nintendo is countering rising development costs. Quote, "We believe that it's important to nurture developers who take this unique concept to heart." Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda co-creator Shigeru Miyamoto claims that rising development costs are somewhat inevitable, which is why it's doubly important to champion singular experiences. The Nintendo representative director was responding to a question about the spiraling cost of video game production during a recent investor Q&A and suggested it's vital developers focus on what they create over how much they spend creating it. Quote, "Our research and development expenses have been increasing each year. Since our scale of development has grown, a correspondence increase in costs is, in some respects, inevitable. However, our belief is that what we create is more important than the amount spent on development," he said. "We continue refining our products until we are confident that we have created something that our consumers will be satisfied with. With that in mind, what is important is to find the ideas that are worth honing, and this has not changed since the era of Nintendo Entertainment System." Miyamoto refused to make sweeping statements about what ideas are worth pursuing because, quote, "everyone has different interests," but said it's important to explore concepts that feel distinct. Quote, "The more you polish something that has never existed before, the more value it brings. We believe that it's important to nurture developers who take this unique concept to heart, allocate funds to development if necessary, and release games only after we are confident in the product, and repeat this process over and over again," he continued. It's advice that's probably easier to follow if you're a company with Nintendo's resources, but Miyamoto suggests it's absolutely possible to create fun games with small teams and tight budgets, and implored developers, quote, not to lose sight of this perspective. Nintendo corporate director Ko Shioda echoed that sentiment and suggested streamlining development around the Switch has been fundamental to the company's recent success. From a hardware and system perspective, we believe it's important to provide an environment that enables game developers to work efficiently, added Shioda. As explained in today's presentation, the merging of home consoles and handheld systems allowed us to integrate what previously were two separate software development environments. Because we are already familiar with Nintendo Switch, maintaining a similar basis for development environments in the future will allow us to carry over experience we have already built, which should lead to a reduction in research and development costs over time. Shioda reiterated that new ideas are priceless and have no relation to the size of a studio's wallet. Bigger budgets do not necessarily equate to better ideas, so we hope to continue to focus on a process where teams of hardware and software developers share ideas to create interesting things, he continued. Nintendo recently lowered its physical forecast with the Switch hardware and software sales in decline, but the console has delivered a mammoth innings with lifetime sales currently standing at over 146 million units worldwide. The Japanese company has confirmed it will reveal its backwards-compatible Switch successor before the end of the current fiscal year in March 2025. And there you have it, guys. This is Nintendo's design philosophy, and to tell you the truth, it's pretty much been that way throughout the entirety of the company's history, believe it or not. And even though it's a little bit funny that Miyamoto has a bit of a cut-a-blank check and let the chips fall where they may attitude towards the design process, it's still good advice. And Shioda is right when he says that big budgets don't mean big ideas. Just look back at some of the innovations Nintendo has made throughout the years. They successfully made the transition from arcade cabinets to home consoles. The Nintendo 64 was among the first game consoles to bring us three-dimensional gaming. And game design concepts that are pretty much taken for granted nowadays were revolutionary back during the age of the Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. One of the best and most foundational examples of these core design philosophies is definitely Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, a game that included maps, day-night cycles, and a fully living, breathing world where NPCs had routines and schedules. Their universal attempts to bridge the gap between handheld gaming and console gaming have led to some amazing innovations in games design. I know when the Switch first dropped, it was considered revolutionary and a stroke of genius from this company, but they had tried this before. The GameCube was their first attempt at bridging this gap, and it was an amazing one at that. I remember reading an article about the Nintendo GameCube's development, and the philosophy there was creating a sort of gaming lunchbox that could be easily taken from one house to another. Everything about it, from the compact discs to the little handle on the back of the console, was meant for travel. And it was also on that console that some of my favorite games were born, like Chibi Robo and Animal Crossing. But of course, you really cannot talk about the GameCube without talking about the singular most successful game of its entire history, Super Smash Bros. Melee. While the franchise was in fact born on the N64, it was with Melee that it took off and created a massive community. And of course, it's in the Smash franchise alongside the Mario Kart series where you see this philosophy of taking an amazing idea and polishing it until it's perfect. To this day, me and my wife still love our Nintendo systems, and we continue to bond with them, and we're looking forward to sharing those experiences with our kids. I've already started introducing my sons to the Game Boy Advance. To tell you the truth, I've got quite a lot of things I could say about Nintendo moving forward, but honestly, first and foremost, I'm grateful to them for their amazing design philosophy and for all of the wonderful memories that I've got, and I look forward to sharing more with you guys in the future. But of course, that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching up to this point, and if you love Nintendo consoles, please comment your favorite games down below. And before you go, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I've got a lot more content coming up for you guys in the future. I honestly hope this video inspired you to adopt some of this philosophy in other areas of your life. And as always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. And until next time, love you guys. Safe travels.